The difference between the practitioners who scale, the ones who take off, the ones whose name has become known in your household and the household of your family is not necessarily their skill or how much money they had access to or the random cousin who's really good at SEO. Most of the time, these people have been successful because they have one thing in common, and that is how they manage their mindset. What I want to talk about today are the 5 mindset attributes of our most successful clients so that you can borrow from some of their systems of thinking and apply them to your business as well. My name is Dr. Meghan Walker. I am a former naturopathic doctor and the chief cheerleader here at Clinician Business Labs. And over the course of my career, I have had the pleasure of working with thousands of clinic owners and practitioners to be able to build businesses that not only have impact, but provide them with the income that they need to live their ideal lives. Now, the mindset piece is a huge component of the game. In fact, over the course of my 25 years plus as an entrepreneur, it is not necessarily the entrepreneurial skills that have gotten me through, although they have been part of the story. They represent probably for me only 20% of my own success. The 80%, when I look back at my own businesses and frankly, some of the lowest times in my career, it is precisely my own command of my own mindset, my own commitment to addressing mindset that has not only seen me through, but has enabled me to leverage those periods of time to take my business to the next level. And recognizing that pattern within my own business has frankly compelled me to start to look at and want to uncover what that pattern looks like for our clients as well. And what we've realized is that there are 5 core mindset attributes that are common across the board for everyone who has been most successful in our programs. I want to take you through those now. The first mindset attribute that we see across the board that I see in my own mentors and absolutely with myself and with our clients is that of decisiveness. Now, decisiveness, I want to be super clear, is not something that we are born with. Decisiveness is something that we learn to cultivate. Decisiveness and making good decisions is something that we learn how to do over time. And we learn how to do over time because we practice. We practice making bad decisions and understanding the consequence. We practice making decisions that are rooted in emotion and understanding what the fallout looks like. We practice making decisions and stepping into the arena of absolute accountability with respect to the decision that we made. Our most successful clients are not making a decision related to the investments in their practice because they're consulting 18 other people on the backside. Our most successful clients are not having to talk to their partners before they decide where they are going to deploy the next layer of resources in their practice. Our most successful clients have witnessed making bad decisions and having to take responsibility to pull themselves back up. And they also have developed the confidence of knowing that when they trust their gut, when they listen, when they pull on the breadth of their own experience, that their decisions are something that they can trust for themselves. So as a business owner, being decisive is incredibly important. But I would argue that the skill of decisiveness is equally important to other facets and areas of your life. It's important to how you manage your investments and your mortgage and how you interact with your friends. It's an important skill to be able to emulate for your children. And while big decisions often require that we pull in a network of individuals with different experiences and perspectives for us, one of the critical things to understand about making decisions is that if you are going to seek the opinion of others as you move towards making that decision, that you are seeking the opinion of others who are on a path ahead of you. Asking your partner who has the security of employment whether or not this is a good investment for your business is not the right person to turn to. And while it might feel good for them to give you permission to move forward with that decision, they are ill-equipped, both emotionally and through circumstance, to actually give you true and honest insight. The challenge with being truly decisive is it requires that we are equally holding ourselves responsible for the outcome of the decision. And it's rarely the ability to be decisive and make the decision that holds people back. It's that little nugget of responsibility that is traditionally the problem. One of the things I would encourage you to do if you find decisiveness to be one of your challenges in your business or potentially in your life is to start to practice by making small decisions without actually seeking the approval or insight of other people. Start making decisions when the stakes are lower, so that when the stakes are higher, you have the added benefit of confidence of knowing that you have a history of making good choices in your life. Mindset number 2, and I'm going to say this is more like attribute number 2 of our most successful clients, is that they are really good at resource management. Now, what the heck do I mean by that? When I'm talking about resource management, what I'm talking about is that when our clients throw on the hat of being the CEO, when I throw on the hat of being the CEO, ultimately, my job in this chair is to be responsible for the deployment of resources within my business. It's kind of like the ultimate Monopoly move. Your main responsibility on Monopoly is to decide what to do with your money. Do we buy it? Do we hold it? Do we mortgage it? Do we want the railroad? Do we not? Does it fit into our bigger plan? And so when I talk about resource management in a small business, I'm typically talking about 3 types of resources. The first is obviously money. There is no room in a successful entrepreneur's journey to step into the identity of I'm not a numbers person. So if that is an identity you've been hanging on to, but you've got really big goals for your business, I need you to let that one go, because it is fundamental to your role as the CEO and leader of your business that you at least understand the fundamentals of how to deploy capital or money within even your small business. Is this a good investment or is it not? Do I trust that I'll follow through if I make that investment, or do I not? So you need to know all of the pieces involved in deploying the resource of money and capital. The second resource you're responsible to is to the outlay of time, not just how your team is spending your time, which you need to hold them accountable to, but how you are spending your time. You need to understand the concept of opportunity cost. What does it cost your business for you to be doing all the things, for you to be answering the emails and for you to be answering the phone and for you to be following up with patients when you actually could be serving new clients? That's the opportunity cost within your business. Your business only has so many hours within the week. How are you deploying that particular resource? And lastly, the third principal resource that you are responsible for in this super fun game called entrepreneurship is that of energy. And the currency of energy we can talk about in a variety of different ways. We can talk about the currency of energy literally on an energetic level, or we can be talking about the energy in your own body, your own mitochondria. And that's partly informed, if you're only one person, of how you're managing your health. If you're a larger team, the culture within your business. But the deployment of energy and how you manage your energy, first and foremost with you as the founder of your business, is a critical area for you to be aware of and a critical perspective for you to have insight around if you are going to grow your business in a sustainable way. Mindset awareness number 3 is that our most successful clients are radical action takers. Now, I want to be really clear when I talk about radical action takers, I do not mean that they are frenetically busy in their business all the time. No. Radical action takers to me are people who have a very clear vision of what it is that they want to achieve. They probably have a vision board. They probably have photos and pictures and goals and manifestations, whatever their version of a forward vision for their life happens to look like. And they don't just have that on their wall and then sit there and wait for something to happen. Or they don't just have it on their wall, buy a coaching program, and then absolve themselves of responsibility to fill in the gap. Our most successful clients have a clear vision of what it is that they want to do. They have a clear understanding of where they are now. They seek the advice of someone who has walked that gap before them, and they take radical, consistent action in alignment with that advice. It's the radical, consistent action when you are tired, when it feels hard, when it's outside your comfort zone, that is a unifying feature of everybody who has been most successful, certainly within our programming and amongst my peer group of fellow entrepreneurs. It is the radical action taking that is the difference between I've invested in lots of people before and I never get the result I want, and the people who are like, I don't understand that every time I make an investment, it takes me to that next level. The radical action taking is often the piece that's missing. Mindset number 4. And I kind of took poetic license here because I wanted to have 5 mindset shifts, and I threw 2 of these together because they have a really close relationship. They're like fraternal twins. And that is this idea of failure and perfectionism. And our most successful clients have really worked towards reconciling their relationship with both of these pieces. Let me be really clear. Failure will be an inevitable part of your journey as an entrepreneur. Regardless of whether you've invested in coaching, regardless of whether or not you have the most experienced group of people around you, regardless of whether or not you've done this before, you will fail at many things moving forward. And if you are not failing as you are driving yourself through adulthood and through your career, you are probably playing it way too safe. The reason that our most successful clients are okay with failure is because they accept this as an inevitable part of the journey they chose to embark upon. You are not going to take up mountain biking and not break something, or at least run that risk at some point in your journey with that sport. It is no different with entrepreneurship. And whether you are here on purpose or you are a reluctant entrepreneur because it is the only way to deploy our systems of care, I'm going to encourage you to really work on and practice the art of failure. And the art of failure simply requires that when it doesn't work out, we understand what went wrong, we stand up, and we try it again. Now, the fraternal twin to failure is that of perfectionism. And when perfectionism is pervasive within your life, and listen, there's a time and place for perfectionism. If you are hanging in an IV for your patients, or you're adjusting their neck, or you're a neurosurgeon, please bring your most perfectionistic skills to the table. The problem with perfectionism is we don't deploy it as a tool in a particular circumstance or a standard in a particular circumstance. The problem, perfectionism as a problem, is when it is a universal component of your identity. You don't just bring it to the table as a neurosurgeon or as a pilot. You bring it to everything you do. You bring it to how you set the table. You bring it to how your nails have to look all the time. You bring it to every email and every communication and every chart note and every journal entry. When we apply and deploy perfectionism everywhere in our life, we let a skill set and a standard actually be a tool for procrastination. Perfectionism will not enable you to reach more people. Perfectionism will not protect you from failure. Perfectionism is an incredible attribute to deploy in the right circumstances, but when it is universally spread over everything you're doing as an entrepreneur, I 100% guarantee it is holding you back. If there is any portion of your identity that still identifies as a perfectionist, this is the universe speaking to you directly, asking you to work towards relinquishing it. Perfectionism is the single biggest attribute that if you share with me at a job interview that you are a perfectionist, is the only thing that will guarantee you won't get hired. If perfectionism remains a pervasive force in your life, you must dismantle it to move to the next level. What served you to get to this point is not going to carry you onwards. Mindset attribute number 5. This is my client's relationship and my relationship with time. We are existing at a really fascinating juncture in human history. Traditionally, our relationship with time was linear. And while it may be perceived at different phases of our life or while we're engaged in different activities that time is moving faster, and there is a relativity to time for sure, I think that's physics. What we have known is that in a business and the way we've deployed business models, it is that it has always been a linear function. And yes, there are mindset conversations and there are teachers who will talk about how we can bend time and we can collapse time and we can change our relationship with time. And those conversations have always seemed a little bit far-fetched until this particular junction in human history. See, what's happening right now is we have this idea of collapsing time, of bending time, of playing with time as a non-linear experience in our business. And it is overlaid at a point in history where we have the technology to be able to take a business that traditionally would follow a linear path, and we can literally see it shift overnight. And that technology and that tool is called AI. AI as a tool in any other industry, we see computing, linear shift and change, a few junctions where that pathway changed over time. But AI is one of the very few technologies over the course of human history where we're not necessarily seeing a linear shift in how it's changing human interaction and human capacity. We're actually seeing this absolute off the charts elevation of how time can be deployed and manipulated. One of the key pieces and one of the key mindset components and one of the possibilities I want to hand you is shifting the belief that for you to have it all, for you to be able to achieve that $1 million business, or for you to have consistent income in your practice does not require that you grind it out for a predetermined amount of time. We now exist in an era where we have access to tools that can enable us to change the trajectory of our life and our business on a dime. And one of the emerging mindsets that we are seeing certainly within our practice, that I'm seeing within my colleagues, is that they are shifting and changing their belief system around time and how much of it you need in order to achieve success. So let me know what you think. Which of these 5 mindset pieces do you know you still need to have a handle on? And which one is it that you've totally got in the bag? Drop those ideas in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna go deeper on these concepts next time we hang out together.